This is Launching Your Daughter podcast, and I'm your host, Nicole Burgess, licensed marriage and family therapist. The information shared in this podcast is not a substitute for seeking help from a licensed mental health professional. Now, here is today's episode. Episode 2. Welcome. I'm your host, Nicole Burgess. Today, this episode is for all my parents out there, all the moms and dads, who think they have to make all the decisions or are getting kind of tired of making all the decisions for the family and don't have any input from their kids. So if this describes you, listen up. Today, we're going to talk about family meetings, why they're important, and how this can help teach your daughter some leadership skills. So why are family meetings important? It gives your teenagers and younger children opportunities to participate in decision-making and learning the democratic process. Its purpose is to help make plans and decisions, solve problems, plan for family activities, and provide support and encouragement. So here it is, parents. That helps you with not having to do all the decision-making all the time or feeling like you're stuck in the middle of the conflicts between the kiddos. It's an opportunity for each person to be heard, have a chance to discuss and change a decision they are struggling with, and help settle conflicts and deal with reoccurring issues, and agree upon fair distribution of household chores. Yes, another one area that parents, you can get out of doing all of the decision making for this. So ways to make your family meeting productive and satisfying. First, you need to create a specific day and time for weekly meetings. Again, all of this that I'm going to give you today is guidelines. Feel free to change it up, do things differently, whatever works best for your family. So for the first part of it, that specific day and time means all family members need to come to a consensus of the day and time. If some family members do not attend, that's okay. Decisions can be made by those that are present, and absent ones have to live with the decisions that are made. Second, you want to rotate a chairperson and a note taker or a secretary. Parents, it may be helpful for you to chair maybe the first meeting to make sure everyone is heard, role model, keeping everyone on task and within the time limit. You can then choose the next person to be the chair by either the age, picking a name out of a hat, or just going around the table. For the note takers, their job is to keep the minutes so all have a record of what was discussed and what decisions were made. If you have young children, they can record the meeting on a device. Then, you parents can help them write down what the highlights are and what the decisions that were made. Third, you want to establish and stay within the time limits. The chairperson is responsible for beginning and ending on time. So, for example, an hour long is enough for adults and teens, 20 to 30 minutes for young kiddos. Fourth, everyone has a chance to offer ideas and suggestions. Again, part of a family meeting is to be able to brainstorm and go over what some of the struggles are and how to resolve them. So in this step, parents, you want to make sure that your teenager goes first or your younger kiddos go first before you. That way they invest a little more of their time or they feel like they've been seen and heard. So mom and dad, you can add ideas if necessary, but letting your teens do the problem solving and brainstorming with them can help them with future opportunities at school, their job, and even relationship building. All right, fifth, everyone is to encourage to bring up issues. So here again, you can do what's best for your family. You can create an agenda by writing the topics down in a book, and then that once a week, the chairperson grabs the book and looks over and just goes down the list, what's written on it. You can throw things in a hat, and then they get pulled out during that meeting. But again, the chairperson goes through the list and stays within that time limit. And if not all issues get to that week, then they get postponed to the following week. 6, it's reminding everybody this is not a complaint-only meeting. So if your teen daughter has come up with an issue, ask if they have some suggestions to solve it. You want to keep the focus on solutions versus just complaining about the issues. Next, the opportunity to distribute household chores fairly. Here again, parents, this goes for you, so you don't have to make all the decisions. Versus you assigning all the chores, ask family members what chores need to be done, and ask which ones can be shared and which ones can be accomplished by one person. So for example, do you need the kitchen duties to be 2 people, 1 person doing the bathroom, vacuuming, mowing the lawn, that sort of thing. Decide how chores are chosen and then rotated. So maybe you have a chore chart with all the chores written down on it, and then names are next to that chore, and then that can be changed weekly. Or if the kids decide to trade it on their own, that's okay too. You also want to make sure that one kid is not given all the most unpleasant chore duties, that one gets rotated around. The other thing to remember is once these chores are assigned, you also need to come up with what are the consequences if those agreements are not followed through with. And everybody needs to decide on that as well. The last thing in this, it's making sure that you're planning family activities, whether that's vacations, movie nights, special projects, all that good stuff. And if your teen doesn't want to be involved in the planning, that's okay. Just make sure that they know they are invited. When you're doing these family meetings, part of it is you want to role model assertive communication skills and reflective listening. So assertive communication is what I also call the I statements. It's where you communicate your feelings about how your teen daughter's behavior affects you and what it is that you're needing or wanting from her. So for example, when I'm ill and the dishes are left for me to do, I feel disrespected because it seems like no one cares about me. Or Dad, when you borrow the tools and don't return them, I feel discouraged because I don't have the tools when there is a job to do. Reflective listening shows that you're hearing your teen daughter's feelings and that you're understanding where she's at. So for example, if Susie's really struggling with at the end of the semester, like it's coming up now, the end of the school year, it's like, I see that you're worried about your semester exam, or it sounds like you're feeling discouraged because you're having a conflict with a friend. The last thing regarding the family meetings is you need to make sure you're getting a consensus or a general agreement versus majority approval. You want to follow up what was agreed upon, and then in the next meeting, you're going to go back to what was agreed upon, review the activities, old business, talk about the new business, and then go from there. So what kind of leadership skills are you teaching your daughter? Well, the first thing is structuring, right? It's really similar to what schools do. You've created a structure, a time frame for what is going to be discussed, when it's going to start, when it's going to end. And she's going to need those skills when she goes out into the job world and managing her own time in college. Sometimes you will also be role modeling how to redirect. Meaning if, your daughter gets off track and she's starting off talking about the dishes and how she hates it, and then she's talking about a relationship that's going sour and something that's not related to that family meeting task in that moment, you've got to redirect her to bring her back on task. Again, we talked about brainstorming. That's another great skill for your teen daughter to have, how to come up with solutions and think outside the box, and then they can start to narrow it down once they've exhausted all of their ideas or solutions. The other thing that you're doing towards the end of the meeting is definitely summarizing what decisions have been made, major points that are have been helpful before you move on. And again, you also want to obtain commitments from everybody. So if Susie and Johnny have decided they're going to work on who's going to clean the bathroom and they've come up with a solution, then you follow up with them in the next family meeting on what worked or what didn't work. You're also doing 3 other things where you're providing, promoting feedback, direct interaction. So again, if Susie isn't participating, you can say, "Hey, Susie, I haven't heard from you on this topic, and I would like to hear what you think about we could do differently." And you're also promoting encouragement, and that goes for everybody, right? Not just you're promoting or encouraging your children, but looking for them to encourage you and their siblings as well, if there are siblings. Again, these are just guidelines, but I hope that helps give you an idea of what you can do with family meetings and why they can be important to your family as you move forward and you're getting your daughter ready to be launched out of the house. This also helps, for her younger siblings, if they are concerned about her moving away or going away to college, this would be a great time to explore those emotions, or how the chores are going to be divided up when she comes back on breaks, that sort of stuff. So everybody gets to voice their concerns, also come up with solutions. And parents, it helps you not to have to shoulder all the decision making or be the conflict resolver for everything, which can help decrease your stress level as well. In the next coming episodes, we're going to talk about some of Brene Brown's work with Laura Reagan, who is a Daring Way facilitator. And also, we're going to talk with Kirstine Goffney regarding play therapy and animal-assisted therapy. Thank you for listening to Launching Your Daughter with Nicole Burgess, licensed marriage and family therapist. For more information or to stay up to date, go to launchingyourdaughter.com. You can sign up for my email list or join my Facebook group. Thank you.